Jimmy just found out that he has autism. He's trying to find all of these credible sources, such as facilities or even institutions that may be able to take him in for care. Now, unfortunately, because of his lack of communication skills, he's not able to do so, and so he's nervous, he's puzzled that when he sees all these other people trying to go in for help, he can't do it because he has a different mental process. A survey done in 2004 revealed that 44 primary care pediatricians found that they take in at least 10 children with autism or the autism spectrum disorder. However, 8% stated that they screen for them. Now, this is very considerable to look at, considering that there's still some individuals that are not taken into consideration when they're on the autism spectrum. And so because of the repression of autism in society, we must call for better reforms which betters the recognition of what these individuals possess for contribution. So today I'm going to talk about how autism doesn't limit a person's thinking ability, how underrepresentation in the workplace is a problem for autistic people, and how the communication skills need to be improved on for autism. So autism doesn't exactly terminate just how people think. Well, the autistic children don't rely on connectedness. They would rather form their own path. They tend to be their own leader instead of trying to integrate so quickly with a group of people. There's no pathognomonic feature, meaning there's no root cause as to why they have the disorder in the first place. And according to a video with Jacqueline Howding, her experience with shopping malls, she says that it's not the fact that she has autism to where it distracted her from being inside the mall, but rather it was just the mall didn't service her needs for that. She was disabled in terms of she was disabled for her senses in the mall, really. So underrepresentation, it actually does exist for people with autism. They earn less hours than their normal counterparts who don't have autism. So the symptoms to which contributes to unemployment for autistic workers would be their atypical behavior. So that could be lack of understanding, that could be lack of just any sort of communication medium, really. Just their atypical behavior can serve negative attitudes to the employers that are trying to look at them. And according to a table done for how teachers implement solutions or teaching skills in trying to incorporate autistic children, 47.15% fall in the skill-based category, while only 8.37% of them fall in the cognitive category. This is something to look at, because how can you have skill when the cognitive issue is not solved yet? And lastly, the communication skills. This is the one that needs to be improved on. So echolalia is when a person repeats another person's speech. It's not uncommon for anyone to hear that from an autistic person or child, because they're going through a vocabulary burst. You know, that it's experimental for them. The new method suggested, it's called the double empathy problem. It basically states that ASD and non-ASD, or autism spectrum disorder, basically they have a hard time communicating with each other just based on the different ways that they are thinking. That's basically what this says. And a study done by Catherine Compton, she experienced that when a group of autistic and non-autistic people a group of all autistic people, a group of all non-autistic people, and a third group of a combination of the two, when they played Chinese whispers, the results found that the group with the mixed people in there, they actually had less accuracy than their other two groups, which just further proves that they're bad at communicating with each other just because of the different thinking methods, really. So we saw that autism doesn't really limit a person's ability to think. They want to be independent. Underrepresentation is very common, as ASD people, they earn less hours for different behaviors, which negative attitudes, and the communication skills must be improved on. So, echolalia, this study done, those are things that we must take into consideration because of how the repression can slowly get worse, and how statistics can just further repress individuals with autism. If we have the right kind of info, we can prove that different logical pathways exist. So with all of this in mind, we must improve our ways of making autistic people being able to socialize with different people, because we don't want to end up with Jimmy. That was unscripted.
That was so good.